Way back in January, which was a long time ago, when it was cold and snowy outside, I went shopping and I found a fun new book. It's a story about Humpty Dumpty after his fall. The author and the illustrator is Dan Santat, and the title of the story is After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again. When we fall, we need to get back up again. And so this is what Humpty Dumpty did. My name is Humpty Dumpty. This was my favorite spot, high up on the wall. I know it's an odd place for an egg to be, but I loved being close to the birds. Then one day I fell. I'm sort of famous for that part. Folks called it the Great Fall, which sounds a little grand. It was just an accident, but it changed my life. Kings County Hospital. Fortunately, all the King's men managed to put me back together. Well, most of me. There were some parts that couldn't be healed with bandages and glue. After that day, I became afraid of heights. I was so scared that it kept me from enjoying all my favorite things. I walked past the wall every day, and I would think about climbing the ladder again. I really missed the birds and being high above the city. But I could never do it because I knew that accidents can happen. I eventually settled for watching the birds from the ground. It wasn't the same, but it was better than nothing. Then one day, an idea flew by. Making planes was harder than I thought. It was easy to get cuts and scratches. But day after day, I kept trying and trying until I got it just right. That's a pretty fancy airplane. My plane was perfect and it flew like nothing could stop it. I hadn't felt that happy in a long time. It wasn't the same as being up in the sky with the birds, but it was close enough. Unfortunately, accidents happen. They always do. What do you think is going to happen to his airplane? I almost walked away again, but then I thought about all the time I had spent working on my plane and all the other things I'd missed. I decided I was going to climb that wall. There's his airplane on top of the wall. But the higher I got, the more nervous I felt. I didn't want to admit it. I was terrified. That's really scared. I didn't look up. I didn't look down. I just kept climbing, one step at a time, until I was no longer afraid. Where is he now? On top of the wall. Maybe now you won't think of me as that egg who was famous for falling. Hopefully you'll remember me as the egg who got back up. Uh-oh. What happened? and learned how to fly. Did he fall apart again? He sure did. Humpty Dumpty sat on a great wall. Humpty Dumpty had a big fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. But in this story, the author has them putting Humpty Dumpty together again, where he overcomes his fear and goes back to the top again.